Cannot.
Start video. Start video. Mag-start video sa ako. Wala na mo din na. Pag naminaw mo.
Tapos,
Sunod.
share screen.
Share screen.
Cannot.
Anja.
Share.
Share.
Cannot. Nakanan ako. Display na nito muna. View mo
Kanya unsa man yung out na.
Take out mo. Ano mo? Stop share.
Sarap to. New share. Pause. Stop share.
Pero kung ang video yan.
Oo.
Yo, di na kung ano na. Kasi walang discuss.
Carry ra na.
Scary good lang. Ako kay
Pero hindi ra makita. Murag magpakita man jud mi.
ako.
Tinanglag naman ni microphone kag Clark. Ako ana, jawa mo koy earphone.
Try sila inasta na.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. Dear Father, we offer everything for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessing and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you open our ears so that we retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely, put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirits so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mama Marilu. Is my voice loud and clear, ma'am?
Good
Yes,
morning,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sige, while waiting for, I think we're complete right now. Sakto ba nga kompleto na ta? Please check daw the attendance, Ma'am Lot.
So, we are 9 here.
Mm.
So, kumplito naman siguro 8 ramang ganinta ang mga
Mm.
resource speakers.
Sige ma'am,
Apil
sige
na
ma'am.
kana ay sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Once again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our activity this morning. This is the dry run or practice run activity for session 2. Session 2 is entitled Ways of Mediating Instruction and Activities. But before we proceed, let me recognize first, with all respect, our key persons or some key persons in the division of Bohol, our educational leaders. First things first, we have our schools division superintendent, Dr. Bianito A. Dagatan, CESA 5, our two assistant schools division superintendent, Dr. Danilo Gudilusao, Dr. Faustino N. Toradio, SGOD chief, Dr. Desiderio V. De Lejero, our CID chief, Dr. Carmela M. Restificar, and of course, our very active education program supervisor in English, Dr. Pablito Villalon. Once again, I'd like to welcome our resource speakers, our participants for today. Let me check your attendance. When your name is called, please tell us more. Please share about yourself? Could you please just a little, maybe a brief background of yourself? You can also share your accomplishment if you have any accomplishments being an English major. So let's begin with Sir Petronilo Sarte.
Okay, good morning. Okay, sir. Naklaro ba, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please proceed, sir.
So, my name is Petronilo Sarte, and at present, I am assigning at Lucita High School as school head. So I think that's all, sir. Once again,
Thank
good
you very much,
morning.
sir. Yes, sir Nilo. Thank you very much, sir Nilo. Now let's proceed with Miss
Nawa ka, sir. Sir Ronilo, na-unmute ka. Na-mute ka. Sir Ronilo.
Yes, ma'am Lot, I'm back.
Ah.
I was I was disconnected. Ma'am Annalyn, please proceed, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Mrs. Annalyn Dumawet, head teacher one of Santa Cruz Elementary School, Batuan District. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am Annalyn. Next is Mr. Giselo Cajes.
Okay. Hello, good morning, Sir Ronilo. I am Jesselo
sir.
Bicajes of San Jose National High School of Talibon 2 District. I am currently a secondary school teacher too of our school. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Ma'am Rizel Socorro Kaitom.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. I was here a few minutes ago now. I am with Ma'am Rowena for now. I am Maria Risa Socorro H. Kaitom, a senior high school teacher of Nahawa National High School. So, and at the same time, I have my sideline as an event organizer. So that's it. This is Maria Rizel Socorro H. Kaitom, and you can just call me Teacher Rizel.
Thank you, ma'am Rizel. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Next, yes, next is Ma'am Ruby Ann Ayuban.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Robian E. Ayuban of Bongbong Elementary School, Ubay 3 District. I'm not an English major, and I'm just a multi-grade teacher before ko na head teacher 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Ruby, for sharing your background, ma'am. Finally,
Yes,
we have Ma'am
sir.
Leia Millendez.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am Mrs. Leia
Yes, ma'am.
Millendez, teacher 3 of Union National High School. I am blessed to be chosen as our speaker this morning. Blessed because I know that all of us will be critiquing. Yeah, so I just want to remind all of us that we need to bloom where we are planted. And that's all. Good morning once again.
That's very nice to hear coming from you, Ma'am Millendez. I'm sure you're very excited for your uh, demonstration later. First, before we formally start with our dry run sessions, I will also be giving you some specifics. Let me give the microphone right now to Ma'am Marilo Arbasto for the statement of purpose.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning to all. Am I here?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Clear?
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
Okay. So, once again, good morning. So, I am Mrs. Marilu Arbasto, your training manager. I'm presently the school principal of Ambassador Pablo R. Suarez National High School, Carmen-Tree District. So, my task this morning is to give you the off. Sorry ha, I will just off my video kay kay naay daghang mga kanang mga mugsurisor. Okay, so basically the goal of today is to let you speakers. I think Sir Ronel, let me correct the one you have said that um isa ra ang mo assign karon nga mo speak. I think um we will be giving each speaker to at least have a try to share their slides, at least maka maneuver sila ba, maka try sila. So we will be giving you speakers time to uh try to share your slides. Then of course this dry run you will be able to listen from the comments of the other speakers, the good points of the other speakers for improvement if ever there are things that needs to be improved. So this is a practice on how to improve your delivery of the content or the topic being assigned to you. So the process where the effects of some possible failure are intentionally mitigated. So if ever there are mga failures, kuan na nato ma makita na nato daan at least in the session kana puhon ma-minimize na nato ang mga errors. So also pacing. So it is very important that we will have this practice for us to try our pacing. Sometimes speakers, we are carried away by our session. We are not anymore mindful nga napaspas na di ay ta na our audience, our listeners cannot anymore catch up with the points that we want to relay or want to present. So we have to practice our pacing, and also the time management is very important. So again, I think sometimes when we are too excited and of course we're nervous of our in speaking, since this is a virtual, so we need to have we need to check each other kung okay pa ba na tingalig mga na the whole session masikag tabi na disconnect na di ay ta. So again, this is very important for us to practice for this coming 3-day webinar. So I think that's all. Sir Ronelo, is it okay? My suggestion that all the 8 speakers should try sharing at least they can try maneuvering this other slides aning Zoom kay tingali og kanang I don't know if siguro pa diri nga paka-try o ganun share. So at least we can have a technical assistance with some speakers. Is it okay to you, speakers? walk through
Yes,
lang.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's
ma'am.
okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Walk through lang at least po makatry ta ba. Let me I just want to ask from you if you do some revisions on your slides. At least unsa may inyong gibuhat o katurag yung gihatag ni Sir kanang Sir Pabs gi-share ni Sir.
Wa
In my
namin
case,
nag-revise,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, Ma'am Leia.
Yes, sa akong case, ma'am, kay I did because I was watching the national
Magpuan lagi may dry
recorded
run,
webinar, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Unsa may
And
Dry
then
runs
I
ta.
discovered nga, hindi ko siya
Para
discovered.
para webinar sunod-sunod
There are
semana pa
slides
pod, ma'am
bitaw that
Les.
are
Wa si Jadinin.
said. Ay,
Salamat naman pag wala, charot.
okay.
It's a prank. Gahapon. Mga rin gahapon sa wow, togo.
Okay, things like this, mo nang we have
Mo
to
ko'y buhaton diri.
Sir Giselo.
Oh, sorry, ma.
Yeah.
Okay. So things like this, we need to be conscious enough nga. So manginanglan jud tag dry kanang practice.
Yes.
From time to
Yes,
time
ma'am. Yes,
we
ma'am.
have time to time we have to check our microphone, our video, tingalig na nakita na ana nga naay mga undesirable nga dili dapat makita. So again, Ma'am Leia.
Yes, ma'am. For my side, ma'am, I was watching the national recorded webinar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I wasn't able to watch. I think there's no available video from the region. So I just used the national recorded one from Zoom, from YouTube. So that's why I did some revision, but I think it's not revision because it is based from the original one, ma'am, from the national speakers.
Okay, so later on we will try to look at you or view your slides. If other speakers find it very useful for the session, we have to agree. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
whether they are going to follow to your slides, you're going to have your slides since session 2 man ta prihas ra gyud ta. We should have a common lahi na ning other speakers lahi pod ang i-present. So at least we'll have a common so it is expected that we have a common concepts ang atong i-share. Ang ato lang ani na at least if you have some mga inputs prihas ta. We can learn from each other. So we will also have some clarification on the concept kung naay mga kanang naay things that have to clarify. So at least in this dry run makuan na nato. So we will give time for each speaker to do their run through. Then after that, open forum to collate some good points and some points that need to be worked out or revised or kanang improve. So also the technicalities in sharing the slides and so on and so forth. Okay ba sa uban?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I like that idea, ma'am.
Okay. Lahi ra man good og si Ma'am Leia ray mo share mo kuan so
yes, Ma'am Lot. Allow me to butt in, Ma'am Lot. Allow me to butt in, Ma'am Lot. I actually prepared something, specific activities. Let me show my slide for now.
Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
Mami, para nato no kay nga simpulan ta sa preposition pero sayang.
Kanis makitan ba? Makitan ninyo ang slide.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This will be
Yes,
our
sir.
order. Amo na itong pangbuhaton today. Specifics din siya nga atong dapat nato ma-realize. First things first is katong gi-mention ni Ma'am Lot, of course, very important nga atong praktisan ang pag-navigate ug paggamit sa Zoom app.
Yes.
Then another point here, very specific, is i-review nato ang ato ang PowerPoint material nga gikan sa region because might be na mga activities ana nga dili applicable mura na mga activities nga mo dong og mga websites, na mga links nga ipang-provide, dapat nato na siya ma-filter or ma-remove. O daghan tag-tanaw ani sa atong mga slides. Ato na sa tagsaon today. Next is after nato sige na tan-aw ang atong slide. After siguro nato ma-modify, matangtang ang mga dili bitaw nato ang i-appeal sa atong presentation. Musunod na ang practice run, the full-blown demo of Ma'am Millendez. Di ba Ma'am Millendez, you're aware of this? Nga ikaw ang full-blown demo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And after your turn, ma'am, feedback giving will follow. So every participant, other speakers will be given tagan sila at least siguro 3 comments or feedback nga ilang ika-share para ma-improve bitaw ma'am ang atong gibuhat. Then after that portion, muna to hatagan nato og 15-minute practice ang matag usa ang kada speaker nato. Then after sa matag usa resource speaker after niya sa iyang presentation, then another feedback giving will follow for him or her specifically. Then after that, mga other reminders na ta. Muna sa itong buhaton today.
Okay, sir.
Importante kaayo bitaw ang paggamit sa Zoom app. I don't know kay in our group we'll be using the Zoom app. I don't know in your group kung sa inyong gamiton. May tilagnay mo gamit og MS Teams. Lisod ta na kay atong gamiton karon is Zooman. Nabay mo gamit og MS Teams sa inyong grupo?
For Zoom kasagaran,
Na,
sir.
sir. Na imurag mo gamit katong team sa silang sa husband.
Mag-MS Teams sila. So ugnay ugnay speaker ani from Sir Arbastos group, maglisod ta na niya kay ang atong i-orient ani karon is ang Zoom man.
Yes, naay maggamit og MS kay murag more than 200 ang participants or 300 ba to ang kuan. So aside this is intended for dry run. So lahi po to nga katong naa ng other sessions. So it's for them, for the other group to practice katong the entire sessions na from 1, 2, 3 until so anyway for dry run purposes raman ni. Okay na sila na pud mag-practice. They will have their own practice with their group sa katong CD by CD sa mga speakers.
Oh sige. Kinsa ang speaker ani from Sir Arbasto nga grupo?
Okay, Sir Renule. I think you have a very poor
Sige, I will start with Ma'am Millendez. You try screen sharing daw, Ma'am Millendez.
Okay, sir. Okay. Na, sir? Makita na, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang akong pwede ko mo question, sir, unsaon nga sir. So if ingana nako, sir.
Ika na.
Kita i-click
Kana PowerPoint.
Okay. So mo na siya, ma'am.
PowerPoint, ma'am.
I-slideshow
Kana
daan, ma'am.
nasa aron.
Ha?
Pwede raman na siya nimo i-slideshow daan, ma'am. Ay ka mag-set up sa
Okay, ako sang i-end, ma'am, ha. Kay actually akong pangutana kay ang akong naandan kay lahi. Google Meet me kanunay sa school ba?
Share.
Sige, balik sa mga. Okay. So sa to, ma'am, una buhaton, ma'am.
Mag-slideshow sa kadaan, ma'am, kay inag-set up nimo sa imong Zoom, di ba? Naaman na nanay asa nga screen imong pilion.
Okay, okay. Same relation of concept. Okay ni. So ana, ma'am. Ang slide na lang may nakitaan, ma'am.
Oh, ana.
Yes, ma'am.
So sakto na ni siya. Okay. Okay. So mag-start na ko, sir. Di pa mo tanaw pa ma'am. Try ra ta.
Ikaw lang mag-lead, ma'am, kasi agi mo mang slide ang na-open karon. Atong i-consult ang mga speakers, ma'am. nabi mga
Okay ra ba
activities
sila?
bitaw mga applicable ba or dili. Kaya
Okay,
dapat
okay, okay.
magkaparehas magud mo ana. You ask the other speakers, ma'am. You agree with your group.
Okay, okay, sir.
Mm.
Okay, sige. So, murag ato sang i-check ang PowerPoint.
Kada slide jud ma'am, kada slide.
Kada slide. Okay,
Yes.
so, mo to no, first slide. Okay ra
Mm.
to siya. And then second, okay, this one, title, revise, ana. And then here, ako ning balik ang icons, gidelete ni Sir katong sa region bitaw. Gibalik na ko siya kining chat box og follow along. Kay anyway, naaman tay follow along document bitaw if you remember na ataana. And then the chat box, these icons will show up kanang in each slide where it is needed. So murag nice siya kay inikita sa participant nga chat box is there, so it's time for them to chat or to ask question and whatever is required. So ana. And then these are the instructions nga gifilter na ko siya nga ma-apply ra pud nato sa tuang level. So okay ra ta ani?
Okay ra, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay ra ta?
ma'am.
Okay ra ta. Okay, next, webinar objectives. And then, yes, these are the objectives. Wa ako gi-change ani kay mao ra man jud pud ni siya. Okay, kana no? And then we have the agenda. Gidelete po ni Sir sa region, pero I found it murag okay raman. Kay actually nag-refer ko sa national nga katong recorded kay mas lami bito to na review kay bisag aktong mas nakamao ko ron nga nag-review kay sa ato naminaw kalimot ko. So mo ni nga kini mas kuan siya okay ra para nako okay, but if you will disagree then atong tangtangon. Okay ra ani?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay ra ta. Sige. And then we'll have review. Ani nga time kanang review the first section kanang what does communicative grammar teaching involve. So morning man siya nga session, so fresh pa ni silang mind. So it's up. So at this time, if you can see a chat box icon and the follow along icon is here. So you will ask the participant to type in or key in their answers and what they have learned from the morning session. Okay, we are from 1 to 3, now session 2. So that's it. And then another review gihapon, learn the difference between ana language. Wa ko gi-revise ani. Okay ra na siya. Mao siya review part pa ni sa review. Ana no? Okay. And then this one ani na time chat box is here again. So ani nga chat box ma-aware na pud ta nga we will ask this time we will ask the participant what do you mean by mediate? And then they will answer depending on sa ilang answer. Excuse me. So parong nga to start our discussion, but we will ask first what does the word mediate for them mean for them, no? So na depende silang answer. And then after you read their answers, so you'll go to the next slide. This slide is ako arane. Yeah, this one is from me kay murabag mas visual bitaw ko niya. From this is the meaning of mediating grammar presentation and activities, like the students are here, grammar is here, and this one like a bridge. So I don't know kung ganahan mo ani, basta ako rin siyang gi-add to have a visual kuan nga mao ni siya ang grammar, mao ni siya atong function, and that's our focus for the whole session. Okay ra mo ani?
Yes, ma'am. Okay ka.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maayo. Sige, so mao na siya then no, and then I'm also adding kuan lagi. So okay. And then after that we'll go to the true and false questions. I think there are 3 or 4 bani. So well, I did not do any revision for this one. Again, the participant will type their answers if it's true or false, and based on their experiences in their classroom. So this one also is the same chat box, and then this one na wala gyapon ko gikuan. And then same gihapon. And then this one.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Good
group,
morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. What group is this?
This is session 2, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Now, in
Morning, sir,
presenting
Pops.
our dry run, make it sure that you have to, as if it is really final. No, so do not explain what to do, but discuss now starting your session.
Sir Pops, nag-check pa mi sa PowerPoint presentation, sir, sa kada slide.
Nag-check pa mo sa,
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
meaning wala pa
Sa kada
mo
slide.
start.
Wala pa, sir, wala pa, sir.
Ay, sige. I thought nga, kuan mo, kung sa may inyong sundo ninyo.
Kuan, sir, among gi-check ag kato bitang original nga PowerPoint, sir, from the region, sir, kay tilan bitaw, sir, og mga activities nga dili applicable.
Excuse me dong ha. All activities are applicable. The only thing is take note that our participants are teachers. So this is just what they call cascading. So what's the original contents of this session should be given to them because this is cascading. And take note that they are teachers. So it's up to them to contextualize in their respective stations or classes after the training or after if we will go back now to their stations. Ayaw siya kay cascading man siya.
Okay. Yes, sir, Pops. I agree on that point, sir. Ang akong concern, sir, kailan bitog na yung mga IT related nga activities, sir. Kana bitaw mo sa mga links, sir, nga maglisod bitaw ang mga IT IT personnel. Mo na akong concern, sir. Wala akong mag-answer sa mga activities nga pang-usbon. Mga activities bitaw nga dili kay applicable bitaw, sir, especially IT related nga mudong sa mga websites nga maglisod bitaw ang IT personnel, sir. Mo ko po na akong point, sir, nga tanawon, sir, tanawon ang kada slide.
Okay,
yes, sir.
I understand. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, shall we continue? Thank you, Sir Pogs, for joining in. Okay, so for this time, and then here there's a quick explanation about that particular question.
Excuse me, Ma'am Millendez, kanang na
Yes,
ayaw
sir.
lang siguro if the slide, ma'am, is okay nga kada bitong may problema in terms of if you think mo oras na gikan sa region, ma'am, I don't need to present, ma'am. Ipakita lang sa mga sa ato mga kauban.
Run through lang.
Run through lang.
Okay,
Ayun
sir.
na i-explain, ma'am. Ayun na i-explain.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Nga itong gipangitaan ni mga activities nga kana bitong dili applicable, especially kanang na mga links nga itong sudlon nga tinigpa-present
yes,
na to
sir.
na sa actual na dili bito na to ma-apply mo na akong concern, ma'am. Kung sa mga slides nga gikan sa region as is naguna siya.
Okay.
Please proceed, ma'am.
Oh, yes. So, okay.
Kana okay na siya. Kana okay. No problem with that.
Okay.
Ay lang paspasig taman, ma'am.
Sige. Okay,
sige, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's one.
Mm.
And then,
So yan ang Sir Paul.
Review questions.
yes, you're free to ask.
I also encourage the other speakers to speak up. Kay importante man nga tabangan ninyo og panday kay what if dili mo magkaparehas og mga resources nga magamit sa inyong mga groups. Muna atong purpose ani atong gilangtaw ang kada slide.
Yes. So I just did a little gamay ra gud sir, very little, just like this one. These are the answers. So I just choose different color ana lang sir. Aron na. Okay. Then chat box is there.
Mag-dictogloss na lang ko, mag-dictogloss.
Okay. So this time, yes, sir.
Please proceed, ma'am.
At this time, sir, I changed the meme because the meme was like I even don't know the actor behind it. So I'm just using something that is relevant to us or to me. I don't know if it's also relevant to you. So just comment or make any
Ma'am, kana siya, if you're not familiar with that, find means to check what's really the meaning of memes kay. Paano ba yan na? Mo gigamit dito sa national, kay basa niya og mas maayo siguro pangaitaan mo siya meaning o unsa ka na siya rather than change.
excuse me, sir. I mean only the example, sir. Because
Example.
according to the speaker, we may change the sample picture as long since meme should be relevant to the participants, sir. So the original example was that according to the speaker, that was a famous actor in America.
I would like to
like
remind
that,
you, excuse me Ronilo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Again, I would like to remind all of you that our target participants are teachers, not students or learners. So let them do that in their respective schools after the training or when classes start. Kung say atong gi-present mo bitaw nga cascading, because when we talk about cascading, dili man ta cascade og atong usbon. Dili na cascading. Ang ato gis lang paano kung say atong nakuha dito, pwede ta mo explain og unsa basta kay kana gi siya atong gamiton, ha?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes.
Okay.
So in this part, Ma'am Millendez, unsay gi-provide sa regional training, ma'am, as is na to siya, ma'am, dinausbon.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Pwede ka mo add,
add on.
Pwede ka mo add para nimo nga wala kay kamo ayon ana. So better you have to add another example. Para sa imuhan ng contextualization pwede.
Yes, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, next. Okay. This one, sir, I correct because I think there was something wrong. The original slide here is saying controlled practice. Controlled practice, but in the previous slides it says free practice. Free practice activities.
Kining ako ang
proceed, ma'am.
mga data. Gusto na ko
next, sir, is the summary. We are about to end na.
PowerPoint.
Share screen siya, sir.
Dili man PowerPoint ako.
Oo, unsa man na?
Kanang data ra nani.
Then I just add this one, sir, if it's okay.
No problem with that, ma'am.
Share.
Or siya, sir.
Dili na ko makinahanglan sa.
That's all, sir. Then that's by the way, sir, for the assignment, if we are the same, if we will choose the same assignment like we did during the original training, so this is the assignment.
Pwede ra.
Yes, ma'am. Mabuhat na to na, ma'am, since we will create a Facebook page, ma'am, for our group and for our participants. Ug natay mga follow-up activities or mga assessments after your session. Ato na to siya i-post atong FB page, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So okay na.
Yes, ma'am. So far, wa man tay nakita ng mga activities bitaw nga kana bitaw dili ato mabuhat, especially kanang technical related nga mga activities. Wala man tay nakitang inana ka listed nga mga activities, so as is na. And I saw a presentation, magod a slide nga just like sa session 5 ka Sir Victor nga daghan kayo mga activities nga musulod bitaw kag mga links nga listed buhaton sa part sa IT personnel na listed pud nimo buhaton as the presenter. So mo ti atong gilang taw. The activities katong yes, sakto to siya, ma'am. After this part, ma'am Millendez, I will be your full-blown presentation, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
please
sir.
proceed. Yes, ma'am. Ayuban, please proceed, ma'am.
Sir, sa kato laging PPT nga gihatag katong kuan jud ba katong di-download kay napalagi ni siya isumpay.
Please share daw your screen, ma'am. Ayuban, para tong makita, ma'am.
Kadali lang, sir.
You're allowed to pwede maka-share your screen, ma'am. Disconnect sa palihog, ma'am Millendez, ma'am.
Yes, naglisod ko.
End.
Ay, sir ha. Okay, nawala siya.
I-end ang imong kuan, ma'am.
Okay, lagyan ma'am. Okay, gitawa.
Sir Ronelo,
Yes, ma'am.
if it is it okay if kanang you will also share to us kato mga speakers ang ilahang mga session just in case mawa bitaw ang connection? Or
Yes, ma'am.
sa
I have the copy of the PowerPoint, ma'am. I'm just letting them do the kanang
okay.
kuan.
The speakers will do the presentation pero ang slide share, ang sharing sa slides kita na ang kuan mo just in case ba maglisod na ingan na.
Yes, ma'am. Nakoy copy sila mga slides. Ato siyang buhaton in case lang.
Backup ba?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Kani, sir.
So, asa dapita, ma'am?
Kani, ako lang screen share.
Kani.
Oh, kani.
Ma'am Millendez,
Yes, sir.
kanang gi-share ni Ma'am Ayuban, ma'am. Wala din na-appeal sa imuhang slides, ma'am.
Naa, sir. Kanang balik ra good ma'am. Oh, kini siya balik sa ma'am sa memes. Kini siya sir, mo to akong balik sa katong memes ma'am. Kana hey girl, intransitive verbs don't take direct objects niya. When I listen to the speaker, yung siya, you're free to change. Kung like kini siya kay famous man that's what make the meme make sense, no? Because of this person. Pero it's okay. We can go on to this one. And then another ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, that one ma'am, the controlled ma'am, balik ma'am. This one ma'am, this one ma'am, I edit this one because it says controlled, but actually these are free practices. This one ma'am. Yes, ako ra siyang gibalik og nasayop lang to siya dire. And then the other pod ma'am, balik pod ma'am. Sige, balik pa jud ma'am ha. Okay.
Kani, ma'am?
Dinana siya, ma'am.
Ani.
Oh, balik sa ma'am. Katong isang
ako siguro pabantay, sir.
Yes, okay ra ma'am.
Diha to, diha to.
This one, balik pa jud ma'am. Excuse me. Katong si Aquaman. Ato balik ma'am kay na ako revise. Kani. Here I don't know what is DET, basta nasayop lang ba? Namo idea ani ma'am, wa ko kakuan unsa what do you mean by DET? So, wa ko kakuan. And then this one also from the original, I mean from the region, these are just snipped slide. This it's an image, no? Kanang the extension is image file. So I made another one nga dili image, ma'am. Okay ni. Kay
Kuan man ni siya, ma'am. Man ni siya bali part sa Comic-Con.
Yes, ma'am. Ang ako rang i-revise niya is kini. If you are going to click this one, you image na dyan siya, ma'am. Kini siya as a whole ba? It's an image. I created another one nga maka-slides, maka-anam-anam kaniya. Kay supposed to be the kining, wow, I love this costume, should come out after the speaker asks, what is the woman in this picture thinking? Anak special mo gawas niya. Kung kini atong sundon, mo dito na siya gawas tanan sa murag na siya thrilling ba di na maghuna-una.
Okay, ma'am.
Anak niya kini pong DET, ma'am. I don't know this one, masig na sayo pra ni ma'am ba? Kining DET. Ako na po siyang
Sa region kay wa man po niya hisgutin ng DET, no.
Nasayo pa siguro to, ma'am. Or sa ba? Okay. Sabat adto ko sa national nagbastin na lang jud, ma'am.
Tomorrow man siguro, sir. Ma-exit ako, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Ayuban and Ma'am Millendez.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, Ma'am Millendez, for the full-blown presentation?
Okay, sir.
Let me just talk with Sir Pabs. Sir Pabs.
Yeah.
Sir, kanana, after sa full-blown dry run ni Ma'am Millendez, sir, sa may mo dry run namo sa among grupo, sir. There will be time, sir, allotted for feedback giving, sir. Each of us here, the resource speakers who are observers, will be given time, sir, to give feedback. Would that be okay, Sir Pabs?
Okay. So, wala say chance nga ang tanan ninyong mga speakers makaistorya siya sa iyahang slides?
The others resource speakers, sir, will be given a 15-minute talk, sir, right after the full-blown presentation.
What do you mean by 15 minutes? Para asa man na siya? The same?
For their,
the same?
yes, sir. Bali dry run, sir, sa kada resource speaker, sir, after the full-blown dry run.
Okay, okay. Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So after the full-blown presentation of Millendez, everyone will be given time to talk to give feedback as to how the demonstrator performed during the dry run.
Yeah,
At least siguro three, at least three siguro nga atong ika-feedback or atong ika-input ni ma'am.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Before anything else, hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am Rizal, please proceed, ma'am.
Okay, sir, I would just have to clarify the flow because I'm a bit confused of knowing that we have the same slides. I just want to know, sir, because CD2, ako lang yung mahibawaan, gustong mahibawaan is after the answer, during the, what do we call that one, the real thing, is the answer no, and then ang audience will be the elementary teachers of Clarin only.
No, whole district too.
But why do we have the same, sir? Confused lang ko. Why do you have the same slides, Sir Pabs? Say good morning, Sir Pabs. Miss you.
Yes, good morning. Okay, so the point there is there are 6 groups, okay? In every CD or congressional district, there are 2 groups, okay? So elementary and secondary. And then all the sessions should converge into one session for the dry run in order to find out whether what things to improve for uniformity. And this is not the final, actually, this is not the final dry run, because you have also another dry run with your final group. For example, you belong to CD2 elementary. So
yes, sir.
From session 1 to, you are assigned to session
2.
What session?
Session 2, sir.
Session 2, okay. So all session 1 to 6 will converge into one. That would be for final flow of your presentations.
Okay, now I'm clarifying that all speakers of session 2 in the entire province of Bohol is here.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm a bit confused. That's why I asked, ma'am.
Yes. In order for you to ask questions, share questions and other opinions, whether that presentation, that's why Sir Ronelo said earlier that once Ma'am Millendez had done her part, you have to give comments and feedback, whether it is now fine or do you need to improve this one. Is that clear to you?
Very much clear. Thank you so much. Naglibog si Urch. Sorry, Sir Pa.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Rizal. Thank you, Sir Pabs. I think Ma'am Millendez is now ready. Ma'am Millendez, please take the floor, ma'am, for your presentation.
Sure. Okay. Is my screen already shared, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Doing good, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, participants of CD3. Our topic this morning is all about ways of mediating grammar instruction and activities. So I'm Ma'am Leia Millendez of Union National High School, Ubay 2 District. Okay, for today's session, I want to give you the details. You have with you your follow-along document for today's webinar, and it serves as your scaffolding, and it will help you with your assignments and even during your LAC sessions. And along the way, you can find icons just like this icon chat box, and FA stands for follow along. Whenever you can see these icons, it's just like the chat box. It's time for you to give your answers and go key in your answers in the chat box. And then please type questions in the Q&A box for the Q&A session. And you can type questions at any time during the webinar, and the way we will entertain that one after. The link for end of activity evaluation and attendance will be posted at the end of the webinar. Our objective for today's webinar are the following. Explore how to mediate grammar presentations and activities. Discuss the importance of grammar in context. Examine the role of teachers and students in grammar instruction. Reflect on how to use grammar activities for communicative purposes. And let's try to have a bit of fun. Our agenda: review last session's webinar, your first session this morning, and presenting grammar communicatively, the role of grammar activities, structured and free grammar activities examples. Okay, this time you can see the chat box icon and the FA icon. So I want you to post in the chat box one thing you learned from our first webinar. Our first webinar this morning was, what does communicative grammar teaching involve? Everyone? Anyone from the group? Excuse me, Sir Ronilo.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mo answer po mo dia.
Okay, just proceed lang, ma'am.
Mo-proceed ako. Okay.
Padayon lang, ma'am. Assuming lang.
Video day, sir. Okay ra ko ga video, sir. Nakalimot.
You have to turn on your video, ma'am. It's important. If you're the speaker, you have to turn on your video.
Nakalimot to, sir. Sorry.
Sige, ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Mag-trouble. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So just imagine we are done with that. Let's review. From the first session, you've learned the difference between language acquisition and language learning. And then you've explored English as a second language research through the lens of our beliefs, and then learned that teaching grammar communicatively means you can use elements of other methods. And then we have the first session, you were able to name 5 characteristics of a communicative grammar activity. And then explored an activity, how to use it and how to modify it. This time, I want you to chat your answers in the chat box. What do you mean by the word mediate? Okay. Thank you for your answers. Yes, others, they answer link, facilitate. Okay, thank you so much. I like your answers. Okay. Mediating grammar activities and presentations is just like this one. The other side, the students are here, and on the other side, grammar is there. So our task as teachers, we will be mediators. We will give activities and how to connect students and grammar. Throughout the session, that's our goal. We'll present different activities and presentations so that grammar presentation will be conveyed meaningfully. Okay, this time again, I want you to participate and just answer true or false. Number 1, when beginning a grammar lesson, I always present the grammar rules first. Next, once I have taught a grammar rule, I expect my students to understand it and know how to use it. Will you agree or no? Okay, next, my students enjoy learning grammar rules. Do your students enjoy learning grammar rules? Okay. When beginning a grammar lesson, I always present the grammar rules first. Jumping directly to rules may seem abrupt and may not allow a sense of exploration and processing. In the next session, I think it's session 3, you will be taught when to teach grammar. Could it be in the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? Once I have taught a grammar rule, I expect my students to understand it and know how to use it. Learning grammar takes time and continuous practice. My students enjoy learning grammar rules. If yes, that's good. But for most of us, our students do not enjoy learning grammar rules. And that's the reason why we are here. We'll be learning how to teach grammar in a way that is meaningful and interesting to our students. These are the issues on teaching grammar. Number one, students' lack of engagement or interest. Next, students' inability to communicate using the target language. Do you agree with that? Students' lack of grammar knowledge. And then, students' fear of making mistakes. This morning again, so communicative grammar presentation will have to take a look so that we will address those issues that we have mentioned earlier. After choosing a target structure, what do we need to consider as we plan a grammar presentation? Again, the icon is there. You have to think, and then chat box icon is there. Please chat your answers. How to expose students to target language grammar. Do you have any idea how to explain grammar rules? When are we going to explain grammar rules, and when is explaining grammar rules necessary? And then how to engage students in meaningful and interesting ways. So the word meaningful there is in red, so that throughout the session, we will be reminded that our goal is to give or to mediate to the students and teach grammar in meaningful ways. Okay, now we have the 3 E's. Okay, if you can see, our first E is exposure. If you can see the picture there, that's a common scenario, right? Like the students are confused which one to be pressed. No? So especially just like us, that English is not our first language. Like in our dialect, for these pronouns, we just only have one. We'll just use siya for both gender. So that's why for us, it's our task, teachers, how can we mediate to our students and then to the grammar so that they will not feel nervous in learning grammar, but they will really enjoy it. So the first one is we need to expose the students to grammar. The first E, that's our first E, expose. Students need to be exposed to grammar in context. Again, students need to be exposed to grammar in context, just like we have readings, dialogues, realia, and pictures. Grammar presentation that examine only isolated grammar structures do not foster communicative use. So in teaching grammar, we need to be in context. We need to see to it that the students can connect, and the students, it's just like in the real situation. In that way, they can communicate, and in that way, grammar is not in isolated structure. We will learn more later. What do we mean by grammar in context? So from the word contextualization, we are very familiar with that one. So grammar in context means to present grammar rules and definitions of grammar terms alone will not teach students how to use those rules in meaningful ways, meaning you will not just present the grammar rules in just right away, just, okay, you answer this one like that. No, it's not like that. But just like fill in the blank, multiple choice, worksheet, and then you just leave the students to work to answer that one. it doesn't reinforce meaningful communication, and it's not what do we mean by grammar in context. But this one, students need to see grammar as a way to construct meaning. So again, the word meaning is in red. It should be meaningful to the students so that it would be something that they will not forget. If it is meaningful, they will not forget. So that's our task on how to deliver grammar to them in a meaningful ways. And that's the reason why we will learn more how to mediate, how to give activities, mediating activities and presentations. Just like the PPP. If you're familiar with PPP, this is a classic approach of teaching grammar, like to present, practice, and produce. So it is being criticized in a way that in PPP, the teacher does the talking, a lot of talking, and there's a less time of practicing. All the practice and produce are good, but if the teacher does a lot of talking, the talking a lot, so meaning it's not meaningful. The students are not encouraged to communicate, so it is being criticized. Student can complete grammar activities correctly, and it's true, during the lesson, but are unable to use target language communicatively in the long term. They're just able to answer, get the correct answer, got a perfect score, but at the end, they will forget because the way we teach was not meaningful. This problem has been discussed as a non-interface problem in that there is no apparent connection between explicit knowledge of the rules and implicit control of the system. Okay, this one, explicit versus implicit. In explicit presentation of the grammar, it is discouraged that we will just present directly the rules, but we will do it in an implicit way, in a way that the students themselves will understand and discover the meaning of that grammar presentation. Presenting grammar communicatively allows students to participate, take note of the word participate, in navigating the form and meaning of the grammar. And this is grammar in context. Okay, this time, you can see the chat box. I want to hear from you. Take a moment to process what we just heard about exposing. The first E was expose. So I want you to chat, to ask question if you have any question. Thank you. This one, how about this scenario? Take a look at the picture. Is this happening in your classroom? Yes? Okay, that's very common. No, competencies are already here while understanding are still here. So that's it. You're talking about higher competencies, well, the student doesn't even know the basic. And even this one, how about if you are going to explain grammar through just familiar with this? No? So perhaps the student will see it as, is it a math subject, or it's a little bit confusing? No, because in explaining grammar here, that implied, because you will not directly allow them to discover, allow them that with the use of that rule, they can get meaning and the grammar will become meaningful. And in that way, they will not forget, okay? So it will make form, then the meaning, you can use like at day 1, you can teach the form. On day 2, you will focus on the meaning. On day 3, you will focus on its use, just like this one. Then minimal, meaningful, and engaging. minimal in the side of teacher. You will not give a lot of, you will not do a lot of talking, but you will give the chance to the students to participate, to discover, and to engage. That is what we are talking here. So engagement, presenting grammar, meaningful means presenting grammar in context that are meaningful and relevant to students. So if you are teaching grammar and then you will just present and give examples because it's written in the book and the students cannot connect, so it's the students cannot really find it meaningful, so they tend to forget easily. Students can explore grammar individually or with other students. This one, I like this also, because here, as a mediator, there are activities that we will just cater our students to learn more, and then with the help of their classmates, peer-to-peer teaching or learning, and then they will learn. And the teacher are just facilitators. We're just facilitating. Students should attempt to produce the structures in order to internalize them. Again, we are talking about student engagement. Students should produce from their own so that they will internalize the structure, they will internalize the rule, they will internalize the thing that we are teaching to them. In that way, they will not forget. Okay. This one. Again, what are the three aspects that we have just mentioned? 3 E's of a grammar presentation that should be considered before we teach. Okay, thank you. We have expose, explain, and engage. What do we mean by grammar in context? We have mentioned that one also. It's very important. Teaching grammar through meaningful communication, such as readings, dialogues, realia, and pictures. How can we engage students during a grammar presentation? How? That's our goal, and let students explore on their own or with peers. So these are important points that we have just mentioned, and I hope you will bear it in mind this time. I will present to you an example of a communicative grammar presentation, but before that, okay, this one. The title of our presentation is a shift in pronoun is used in relation to gender. So these are, because this is one of the common errors, no? So one of the common errors that the speakers, they have gathered, they have researched, and then they have gathered that for Filipino students, these are the common errors that we have. And then we'll try to address one of these errors, and that would be used as our topic in modeling and how to use the 3 E's, and also how to provide activity as mediators to mediate. No? So this one, shift in pronoun use in relation to gender, use of prepositions. Yes, are you? Can you relate to that? Active versus passive voice, and then subject-verb agreement, very common to our students, and then observing correct noun, pronoun, antecedent, and then, so that's one. So our topic will choose the pronoun shift. So this time we will use Comicon. If you are not familiar with Comicon, this is, but this time, by the way, this time we can ask the participant. So Comicon means it's a comic convention, and it's an international convention for comic book and superhero fans to meet, wear costumes, and discuss all things comic book related. So we will use this one since for our students, they are fond of characters, different characters in television, and I know in their age they are very familiar with these characters. So here we are, we'll start. So this time I want you, or I'll ask you to switch yourself into student mode. Okay, so you are now a student. Okay, take a look at this picture as a student. What is the woman in this picture thinking? Again, you will react as a student. You will respond, rather. You will respond as a student. What is the woman in this picture thinking? Okay, thank you for your answers. Okay. So perhaps the woman is thinking, wow, I love his costume. You know? Okay, that's Aquaman. And then, what is the man next to her thinking? What do you think? Okay, let's just assume that your answer is he is jealous, or maybe he's thinking I am better than him, or yeah. So the man beside the girl, the woman, perhaps he's saying she didn't even look at my costume, so he is jealous. Okay. So this time, yes, you are a student. So let's take a look at this passage. This passage is based on the picture, students. Now try to look at the passage and try to see, is there something grammatically strange about the passage? Okay, thank you for your answers. Okay, some answer that the word Anna is being repeated many times. Okay, not using pronoun. Okay, thank you for your answers. Okay, how can we change this? Like number one, Anna, and then here another Annas, and then another Anna, and then here also number four, man, and then Gibson. How can we change that? Because you have mentioned in your charts that it's a little bit boring since the names are repeated. Okay, we can change that one with the use of this one, the antecedent. Okay, we'll add pronouns. So just for the word Anna, you use she, and then the man here is his, and then our goal here is to give a meaningful way, and how that the students will learn these pronouns in a way that is meaningful and they won't forget. Like this one, we'll ask the student, who is the she? Who is the he? Who is the his in green? And then we'll let the student discover that the man here and the his are the same. So it is not be or interchanged with the man here as Gibson, but the man here and his are the same, while Gibson and the he here refers to the same person, the he and the his rather. Okay, so we're done with that. And now let's try to analyze the she decided to bring her boyfriend. What pronouns are being used in these sentences? This one. She decided to bring her. Okay, very good. The answer, okay, you may use your follow along document to record your answers. The she here and the her refers to Anna. Okay, good. And then, do they take different forms? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. When are we going to use that form? And why are we going to use that form? This time, if the students can answer, it means that we have successfully conveyed to them the language or the grammar structure, and it's up for us if we will present this one. But for me, yes, I will choose to present quickly as an abstraction in our lesson, for the 4As. Then we will just show to them, but at least this time, they have already discovered the form, the use, and the meaning, okay, because of our activity that we have done. Okay, so this one, subject, object, the form, and the possessive pronoun. So change in form depends on the antecedents, gender, and position in the sentence. We can mention that to our student to reinforce learning. And then change in form changes the meaning. So we need to emphasize that one when we are going to use this, when we are going to teach. Then I think there's something wrong with this slide. Okay, we'll just go back with this one. Language, we'll try to see also this one. So we'll give the answers as we analyze the language here, that the pronouns used are she and her, and the form, and then these are reinforcement activities. The teacher, we as teacher, will not just put right away that she is a subject. No, we will allow the student to think, and then we will allow them to answer so that they would process on their own, and in that way it would be meaningful to them. Okay, so she is a subject, and her here is possessive form, and then his. So as they answer, of course, so then one at a time, we will show to them after they answer, then we'll show to them that this is the answer. In that way, it's a discovery method. That's one of the meaning of mediating grammar. It's discovery method. So now after that, if we have delivered, and then if we can see that the students are doing good, then we will check their understanding. We'll check their understanding. So we'll ask, what pronouns were used in the passage? So in this way, in checking for understanding, teachers will just prepare questions, in that to cater, and then to know, for us to know also whether they really understood, and it makes sense at their end. Okay, what pronouns were used in the passage? And then they would answer like that. If it's their answers, then good, we are doing great. So you will ask, what forms do they take? So again, the teacher will not spoon feed, but will formulate question for them to think. Okay, subject, object, and possessive. And then when do these forms change? Okay. The form change, especially in meaning. Okay. It depends on the antecedents, gender, and position in the sentence. Why? To identify who is being referred to. So that would be the possible answers. And to know, so again, after the 3 is, after the presentation of the 3 is, we will formulate questions to check the understanding of our students. Okay, participants, in the model presentation, did we focus more on the rule of the grammar structure or on the meaning created by the structure in context? So the Comic-Con, the way we present the grammar with the use of picture, questions, passage. The 3 is we exposed, we explain just a little, but more on engaging activities. What do you think? Okay, thank you for your answers. These are to check if we have presented correctly. These are the presentation. This is the presentation checklist and the steps to do. Number 1, we need to introduce the context to expose students to the target language. Again, when we are going to introduce the grammar, we should introduce it in context so that the students will be exposed meaningfully. And like, for example, you are going to expose it in in humorous way, with the use of pictures, with the use of a lot of things, no, a lot of examples. So after exposing the students to that particular grammar structure, allow them to engage. Step 2, engaging the students in language analysis. So if we have exposed the student, then the next step is we need to allow the student to engage and allow them to analyze. Okay, so in our I plan, it's the analysis portion. We will not spoon feed, we will not let them know, but allow them to discover. That's the step 2. And then help the student to detect the meaning of the target structure. If you can see, student-centered, this is a student-centered activity. We are allowing the student to discover the meaning, allowing the student to engage, and then by allowing them to analyze. So in that way, they would find it meaningful and they would discover that grammar is fun. It's not boring. Okay. And then in explaining, we should always remember that explicit focus only on the form. We will not do it explicitly, like directly, no, but we will do it implicitly in a way that the students would have time to think, to process on their own, and they will discover it on their own. Okay, again, little explanation, but more on engaging. Okay, and then that's it. We'll check their understanding with the use of our guide questions. What are the role of grammar activities? The role of grammar activities is, number 1, it improves students' accuracy. Again, our goal here is accuracy, not just that the students are fluent enough to talk, but it should also be accurate. It uses the standard of grammar, the correct subject-verb agreement, and anything. So it improves. If we will allow the students to communicate, it improves their accuracy. And then the next is it improves the students' fluency. We will not just focus on paper, like we're just answering, no, paper pencil test, paper bulletin test, no. But we will allow them to talk, we will encourage them to talk. And in that way, it improves their fluency. And then the students also are allowed to reorganize their knowledge. And then new knowledge will be integrated from their old learnings. And in that way, from learn and then unlearn and then learn new things. And in that way, they will be speaking fluently and accurately. These are the 2 types of grammar activities. And later, I will give you examples and on controlled activities and the free activities that we can apply in our classrooms. So the 2 types of grammar activities we have, first is the controlled activities. It focuses on this activity focuses on accurately producing specific language items, but also gives students a chance to personalize the language and thus gives it more meaning than just repeating what a teacher says. Okay, I want you to take note of the word controlled activity. The word activity is still there, only that it is controlled in a way that you are providing an activity, you are preparing an activity for them. Okay, and in this way, the students can give their own, but at the same time, by personalizing what the teacher is preparing, but not just repeating. It's a different thing. Personalizing and repeating, they are 2 different things. Okay. And the other activity that we can apply as mediators of this, of grammar and the students, so we can offer also free activities. From the word free, it focuses on fluency and gives students the freedom to experiment with language and incorporate previously learned language items into their own communication. So again, for controlled activity, it focuses on accuracy. The reason why you are preparing something already because you want them to be accurate. And then for the free activity this time, You focuses more on fluency. They have the freedom to communicate on their own, and this time less you are focusing less on accuracy, but of course later you will correct. No, in your next session you will learn more about this. Okay. These are some of the examples of controlled practice activities like story chains. No, we are also giving you copies of references, and each of this is being explained there, so you may check it out. So along with your follow along document, this one also is there, and so as the resources, so that in your free time in your classroom you can do some research using this one. So we have the story chain, the meme maker, the drills, the charts, the two truths and a lie, dictogloss, guessing games, grammar recordings. Again, these are controlled practice, and the focus of these controlled activities is for accuracy. For accuracy. Okay. So just like this one, story chain. So I will not explain more, but in your paper, in your resources, it's there. So you can, it's a very good activity. You can use this one. Students are free to talk. At the same time, they are controlled, but they can express. And the next one is this one, grammar meme, and it's something that humorous, but it's catchy at the end of the students, because this time it's very common in Facebook. Memes are very common. So perhaps if we are going to use this memes, it's also effective. Okay, and again, I will not explain more. The examples are there, and so please have a copy of that one. And then also we have the free practice activities. These are the sample free practice activities, just like role play. It's called free. Again, our goal for the free practice activities is for fluency, for the students to have freedom to talk. No, just like role plays, debates, essay writing, simulation, discussions, and narratives. If you can see, both of our activities, the controlled and the free activities, both of them are student-centered. And that's the goal of this webinar, so that we'll know that it's not all about us teacher. Well, we're just there to facilitate, but it's more of our students. Okay, so we're about to end. Again, this morning we talked about the 3 E's in presenting grammar. We have expose the students to grammar in context. And then we need to explain to them in minimal way, but it's more on implicit way, so that there is the students will be able to discover. And then allow the students to engage in that way. It's just related to learning by doing. So if the students are doing the exercise or the activity themselves, they will learn it more. It's meaningful to them, and they will never forget that. Also, the role of grammar activities. Why are we giving activities? Why are we mediating with the use of activities? It's because the role of these activities are after for accuracy, and then for the fluency. So if our students are just like that, wow, no, accurate and fluent. So grammar's activities, we have also mentioned the controlled activity and the free activities. Okay, and then grammar should be addressed with meaningful communicative context as one element of language proficiency, with meaningful and not as a separate one. It should be contextualized. It should be, because grammar should be it should be integrated, with other subjects. Okay, and then instead of focusing on grammar rules and diagramming sentences, teachers should guide students towards an understanding of how grammar functions. So instead of just presenting to them the rules, these are the rules, blah, 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 instead of doing that, we will allow them to discover that there is meaning. If we will use this form, there is something, and then it's up for us, it's our job. How are we going to cater the students for them to discover? Students learn how to use the form rather than memorize conjugations that may not be applicable across contexts. So instead of just memorization, so for me, if we're just letting the students to memorize the conjugation and other meaning, it's good, but without teaching them in context, without letting them engage, so I think the retention is very low. So thank you so much, and I just want to remind everyone that wear the fullest when wear a tool that helps others grow. We will help our students grow, and in that way, we will be satisfied and fulfilled. Thank you, and good morning. For our assignment, so you will pass this one or upload this in our pages or group. So create a communicative grammar presentation plan and choose one corresponding activity. So I have mentioned the controlled or free activities. You may choose that one. And in your session 5, you will be using that one also. So reflect on how this plan can be used in your classroom. So not just for the sake of complying for this webinar, no, but we will take it by heart. We'll do it that, oh, I will apply this in my classroom next during the this school year. Okay, so these are the references, and it's also found in your along with your follow along documents and your resources. Okay, thanks for joining, and your next session will be tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Excuse me, Ma'am Millendez.
Sir, you're welcome, sir.
Sige, ma'am. For the giving of feedback, this will be the sequence. The first to give his feedback is Sir Nilo Sarte. Ma'am, balik ko na kog-end sa imong screen sharing, ma'am. Sir Nilo?
Alam mo, nakaabot sa assignment.
Okay, while Sir Nilo is preparing, let's have Sir Kahis.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Ma'am Leia. I don't know if I'm I really don't know if I'm worthy of giving you comments or suggestions, because I'm also trying to learn on how to be presenting something, especially in a webinar. First is that I haven't yet been a speaker in a division-wide conference like this. And it's also my first time to be, yes, and it's also my first time to be in a webinar. So I'm quite at a loss on what to do. But thank you very much, Sir Ronilo, for always helping us. And I hope that you can guide us more as we go along. And so the first thing that I've noticed in the discussion was that all of the parts were presented successfully, and the message came across. But then for the slide on agenda, I believe that is the slide on agenda, the one that you added, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
That is quite redundant with the objective. When you presented the objective already, that is the agenda for the day. That is the topics. That is a list of the competencies or the skills or the topics that need to be achieved by the participants of the webinar. So I think the agenda part may be taken off. I don't know if that's a correct suggestion, but that's a suggestion for me. Yes. And then as to your allow me also to correct Mama that there are some pronunciations that you weren't able to successfully deliver, such as, for instance, when you say meaningfully. It's not meaningfully. You fondly say meaningfully when it's meaningfully. And realia, the stress is in the so it's realia, not
Noted.
realia, or
Okay.
I can't get the
Yes,
to hold.
noted, sir, noted.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, for this. And
Uy,
then
it's okay, it's okay. Yeah,
and
it's
then for
okay.
the
I'm happy.
for the true or false session, you mentioned that there more clarifications will be given in session 3, when in fact the discussion on the statements in the true or false session, the first part, you may have remembered, was actually those which is going to be taken up in the session 2. So those are like anticipatory activity for the participants to be more engaged on what to expect and what to get from the webinar session that you are going to deliver. So I think it is not good for you to pass it to the session 3, although there will be more ideas to be delivered in session 3. But then kind of the true or false activity is like something that the participants must expect for them to understand better as you go along with session 2.
Okay.
So muraging ana siya, ma'am. And then the words, although I get it that the words meaningful and context are most especially meaningful, is repeatedly given in your discussion, but it was not really given that much attention and what really it is. Like meaningful, you say meaningful in order for it to be for the students to learn, but what do we mean by a lesson that is meaningful? What do we how can you say that an activity is meaningful? I think that's what you should be establishing even in the first parts of your discussion. What is meaningful? By meaningful, we may say it is relevant to the student's environment, that those are activities which they experience every day, that this is it is meaningful if it is a product of the natural communication that happened between them, the student, and the environment that they are around, may it be social or mental environment or the physical environment that they have. So I think that needs to be established more, so that the concept of context should be established. What is context? Why is context a need for the lesson delivery? Is it really necessary for context to be given consideration when you are giving lesson to the students? Because context is like is a very important thing, actually, considering where do the students come from, what is their socioeconomic status, what are they fond of, what are they interested of, what are their intelligences, in what context could I incorporate my lesson to in order for them to learn better the grammar. I think that part should be pushed, elaborated
Thank
more.
you. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Maybe you could give
Noted.
concrete examples in the grammar
Correct.
lesson, such as, for instance, if for instance, when you talk about verbals, gerunds. So gerunds, in what context is gerund used? So when it's about talking, when it's about their friends talking about their hobbies, because they talk about swimming or hiking or walking.
Okay.
Those could be a good context for them. So I think we
correct.
should give our participants those concretized examples, so that later on in the output making, we can assure that they also will be able to find their own examples with their students for the contextualization. And I think at that part, I also heard it from the webinar which we had in the Region 7. And then I think this is also a good thing for us to emphasize about the authentic texts. The authentic texts, like the readings and those dialogues, those could be authentic texts, which we should emphasize to our participants that the use of authentic texts will enable us to contextualize the lesson. Authentic text will make it more relevant for the learners in their learning. So more emphasis on that, I guess, Mama. And then
that's sir, yes, that's
okay,
good.
ma'am.
Thank you.
And
Oy,
then
kinaukihan yun.
unja kanang kanang there are sa katupong kanang grammar presentation checklist katong like step 1, step 2, step 3, 4 and 5 nawa ra bag-aho ato ma'am. I hope maka-share ka ma'am sa imong slide ma'am kay nawa jud
Actually,
asa tibuok ma'am nga kanang slide ma'am wa jud sa akong
wala
presentation.
na
So
siya.
wala na siya.
Wala siya
Gi-add
sa
ni mo
region,
ma'am.
naa na siya sa national unya. I find it very important.
Yes,
Kay
it's quite
checklist baya siya.
because that those steps were the outline for the lesson exemplar that you
Yeah.
have given. Mura sa outline nga
Yeah,
mautusid sa ari nga parta katong parta nga nagtanaw ta sa picture mo to expose part and ana.
Yes,
So murag
yes.
maka
Mo to
step by
siya
step
wala.
ka. Mas lami to si ma'am.
May
But
atil
then
na.
anda ka nang sa step 4 you mentioned about explaining explicit focus on form. Explicit, there was the mention of explicit focus in there, but then you tend to emphasize with implicit kanang discussion, which is which is okay ra man unta pod og explicit, okay pod og implicit, pero sa katong lesson exemplar nga gihatag man tuod explicit ang pagkasulti sa kuan. Wa nay murag nay discovery part sa later part, but then katubang pag-ingon nga kanang pronoun na anay antecedent murag diretso to sa teacher, murag nay explicit nga part pud ni ato
After na to siya, after sa discovery sir.
nga ni kuan. Okay, so but then kanang it was suggested nga pwede implicit sid sa niya, pwede po siya explicit, pwede po siya implicit. But I believe mama, I believe nga implicit jud is a better way of delivering it. But then
focus on the form. Sakto to siya sir.
yes ma'am. And then kanang could I suggest Sir Ronilo nga kanabitang atong video, our video for the presentation. I mean, we presenting could be placed in a bigger size below the at the lower right of our screen. Ngayon na siguro sir kay kung ato sa ibabaw di man maklaro nga mauto
Kita
si
may
Jai
magbuot ana
speak.
sir.
Kita magbuot niya na mao ni hang pangutana ron.
Or kita sir na setting sa ibabaw.
Na setting nga maka-determine
ang view nimo, nya speaker view.
Ari sa ubos ang nagsulti Sir Ronilo.
Yes, sir. When you are the one presenting, sir, you have full control of your visuals in your end. Sa to gingon ni ma'am.
I hope that you can teach us to put our faces on the lower right part of the screen, sir, without compromising the text which
sir,
are there. Yes, sir.
You may ask na lang someone, sir, to assist you during sa actual day sa seminar, sir, para di ka maglisod, sir. Kay og ikaw ra isa knowing that naglisod pa ka sa Zoom app, maglisod ka, sir.
Yes, sir.
When we give instructions put virtually, sir, in this kind of setting, it is very difficult.
Yes, sir. Maybe I can ask you nala later on lang, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is that all,
sir? I think that would be all, Ma'am Leia. Thank you very much and congratulations, Ma'am Leia.
Okay.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for your feedback.
All right. Thank you very much, Sir Kahis, for those very nice input coming from you. I'm hoping that the rest of the speakers are taking down notes as well. Okay. I think the suggestions given or cited by Sir Kahis are very useful for everyone.
Yes,
Again, thank you very much, Sir Kahis. Next is
You're welcome, sir.
Next is we have Ma'am Ayuban.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Tanan. Ma'am Leia, congrats.
Thank you, Ma'am Ayuban.
Silingan naman data. Kanang, actually, sir, nahurot gyud tanan ni Sir Kahis, as in, grabe. Ang ako alang is katong imuha bitaw mga steps, ma'am. Ganahan ko ato and then pwede raman kaha mi mo adapt and then ang katupong imuha bitaw gi-add nga katbitong nay picture nga nay murag bridge.
Okay.
Ganahan ko
I'll be
ato
sharing
and
my
then
slides, ma'am.
Sir Ronelo, pwede ra lagi kaning slide ni Ma'am Leia mo among gamiton sa amo mapon?
Very good suggestion, Ma'am Ruby.
For me, ma'am, yes, ma'am, kay at moment itong gidryran bitaw nya na present
sige.
Mamaya itong na-agreehan bitaw or itong na-plaster, mas maayo ka ng slide ni Ma'am Millendez will be shared to the rest of the speakers.
Pero na ko sa YouTube to, sir.
Kay aga mo man kung gigamit, sir, kay sa region mas maayo maning kang Ma'am Leia kay murag gi-collapse niya ang region ug ang national. Yes, sir, ganahan ko. And then wa ko kayo ka nang kuan ni appreciate ko sa imong pag-deliver ma'am daw gahapon pa ka nakahibaw. Nakurat ay no nakurat ka kay gipulbaan po ko kay hapit ag akungan. Kanang congratulations jud ma'am Lee nya.
Thank you,
Kakatong
ma'am.
ipang istorya ni Sir Kahis na learn
Yes.
pug ko.
Ako
Kay
po
na ako
din.
gipang gipang jot down diri pero nasulti jud tanan ni Sir Kahis lain pud og akong balik-balikon. Thank you so much Ma'am Lee. Congrats onya. Please
Thank you,
share
Ma'am
in
Ruby.
town kay while
Yeah,
nag-deliver ka, nag-learn pug ko. While naghatag og input si Sir Kahis, nag-learn gyapon ko kay arang daghan nag-input si Sir kinadaghanan. Thank you so much Sir Giselo.
Yes,
Kanang
ma'am.
at
You're
least
welcome, ma'am.
kanang napuan pud mi ba kanang murag daliwanagan gani kay ug amo lang gyud po'y basihan ba na pa man gyud po'y mas daghan.
Ay,
Thank you.
So much to learn po ko, ma'am. So much to learn.
Yes, yes,
Pareha
sir.
ta, ma'am. Nag-learn.
Pareho tanan.
Yes.
Wala to, sir.
Okay.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much, Ma'am Ayuban. Next to give her feedback, we have Ma'am Kaitom.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Hi,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes. Kakita ka na mo, ma'am.
Yes, congratulations, ma'am. Anyway, murag dili pa kayo ko makahatag og ako yung kanang sa siya very concrete feedback kay nag-set up kami ni Sir Sam gitarong pa namo no kay I'm using my cell phone and it's very impossible kay dapat ako na gyud siyang i-set up tanan together with the laptop kay para dire-diretso na later for the 15-minute demonstration. 15-minute pa bigyapon, sir? Palingkod? Hello, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll try to consult, ma'am, our training manager. Maybe we can reduce siguro, ma'am, no, up to 10 minutes lang. I don't know kung say pleasure sa group. Ma'am Marilo.
I think 15 minutes is kanang
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
too short na gani sir kay other group have the 1 hour gyud ilag yung gipa tagsa gyud ang kuan. So I think kanang paspas ra pud na amurag gamay ra pud na too short ra pud na 15 minutes. So we will be kanang mga 30 minutes siguro sir ana kay 1 hour anyway prehas naman sila og content.
Yes, ma'am, Marilu. Hello, if you can
Yes, ma'am.
remember me, Ati Lutlot. By the way, sa kuan ba ni Ma'am Leia, na sunod ba ang 1 hour? So far, kuan ba ta sa oras?
Ala, I forgot to
I forgot also to
set my timer ba.
Oo.
That's one thing that we have to remember whether na consume bang 1 hour or 1 ba ning laps ba.
We have to. That's the first thing that we have to consider for the dry run. The time schedule. Time schedule. Nanabeya po sunod nga session. So, moto siya akong concern. Mura o what do you think, Ma'am Lay? Nakatimaan ka o ano sa ka naka-start? What time?
Kaysa mamurag mga 1 hour po to, ma'am. Mga 1 hour po.
Murag 1 hour. 1 hour po to, ma'am.
Anyway, ang atong excuse me, ma'am. Ang atong allotted time kay 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. for session 2. 2 hours.
2 hours.
Oh.
Sumubo na kaayo if ever ko ana na Ma'am Lay.
Question and answer, ma'am.
Na-miss ni-miss naman ni ma'am tong mga kanang responses sa
Activities.
mga
Yes,
activities. So it is expected that the audience will be given time to participate. So i-assume na lang to nga okay raman to kay
what if for the next demonstrator, Ma'am Marilu, we are going to include the good mock responses for us to know really how are we going to control responses if maora bali siya dapita so that we can really have that smooth implementation of the session 2 during the as an observer amo man jung gitan-aw si Ma'am Leia marabag kami pod diri ra kutob amo explanation ani nga slides stuff like that kay we have kalisod magug kayo with the webinars that I have mostly gyud ang mahitabo ma'am is mo overtime Mo gina siya kasagaran. So we have to control kay even with the mock responses. I'm so sorry I was not able to respond, Ma'am Leia. Kay
That's
set
okay.
up.
That's okay.
Okay.
But for the next
Thank-
demonstrator, probably we have to consider that one as well.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Well taken, ma'am. So is it okay for the others that we will also have if ever the speaker will ask for our responses, we will respond so that the speaker can anticipate whether this will be her time. So, yan na.
Yes,
Okay ra pod.
ma'am.
Okay
Yes.
ra.
Yes. Okay ra, ma'am.
Okay, we have for example, our viewers, mga pila ka teachers. So we couldn't cater all of them. We have to limit siguro responses and kanang if 2 hours with this session, mainly we are just kanang having plain presentation of the demonstrator. Pareha na guna siya sa live demonstration if there is no responses murag dali ra, but then if there are mock responses makitaan gyud nato nga okay, we have to stop there, we have to continue with the next slide.
Yes,
Stuff
yes.
like that. But with
Okay.
Ma'am Leia, siguro Ma'am Leia ang ako lang ikakuan katong activity bitaw because that is very applicable for the teachers in the field, especially if puhon malooy ang Ginoo mag-online ta. There should be kanang kanang deep gyud nga discussion about it because that ang unod man gud nato ani is kana yung content of what they should do on the field, not
You mean,
exactly not exactly on the kana mga theories, not much in the theories, but what will really happen in the field. Murag nga na lang siguro po
More
akong
on demonstration, ma'am. Is that what you mean?
No,
demonstration?
area bitaw sa activities katong na I read kato siya dapita on how will the teacher handle such kanang flow concern. So be with me on that area. Okay, mao man gyud na siya follow-on good in our in sa kuana sa ginagayday ning tanan natong webinar is ang client man gyud nato are the students, so we should have unsaon ka gyud nato sa teacher, no, unsaon kanya paghatag sa maong lesson sa iyang field. I guess for me, because I am really into instruction more than theories. I'm more on the application of what you're teaching. Thank you so much, Ma'am Blay, but congratulations.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
You
mean, ma'am, katong controlled of free, ma'am, katong mga sample activities? Mo tay imong gimin?
Yes. Oh, mao gito
okay. Oo. Kay na actually naon na tay copies adto, ma'am. Tagaan ang mga participants. Nato siya mga explanation kada usa.
More than the explanation siguro, ma'am, I'm not much into explanation, but how are we going to handle the demonstration as if we are the teacher on the field?
Okay,
not
exactly, yes, ma'am.
Kay ang we are teaching lang natin mga new teachers in English, natin nga na they are really full of theories, trust me, but how are they going mo gid siya ang dapat
instruction. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes.
Kuan ba pagdukdok nila and all. So, mara pud akong concern. But all in all sa flow, master jud kaayo, so sure jud wa ka mato gabi eh. Good to us, really. This is your gid siya wa gid panahon sa pagkuan, pag-atras and all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am Lay. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kaitom, for sharing your input. Next to give her feedback is Ma'am Annalyn Humawid.
Okay, good morning, sir. I just want to say congratulations, Ma'am Leia, for a job well done. You presented the topic very well, and then you are very much fluent in speaking the language. And then one thing, kanang akong nakita ma'am is katong same po sa gingon ni ma'am ganiha nga katong ang sa activity so really need to explain or give more aron bitong kanang na ay masabtan jud sa mga teachers so that they can kanang na ay nagdungan nila sa field they can apply what they had learned from us and then kuan pud ma'am just like with what Ma'am Ayuban kanang mention ganiha nga kanang na ay kato bitong imong slide kanang mo among gamiton hope nga imong share kay
Yes.
ako ana ma'am and then overall then that's all thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Annalyn Humawid. Here, next is Sir Sarte, Sir Nilo Sarte.
Okay, sir. Good morning. Thank you, Sir Ronilo, and good morning, Ma'am Leah. Congratulations. Anyway, murag dili po kay ko makahatag jud og feedback considering that this is also my first time to handle sessions, no? O niya murag medyo dugay-dugay na po kung wala makatudlo sa field, no? Because nagdala po kong eskwelahan. So, kuan siguro kanang naay ang ako siguro ani nga mas nindot nga maka-share ka sa imong PowerPoint so that we will be having only one PowerPoint. Pareho na ta, no? In the 3 districts pareho ta og PowerPoint nga gamiton. And then yes, I learned a lot from you and from the other speakers, to be speakers also. Kay murag nalamdagan ug unsay katong mga pangutana. So, Sir Ronilo, murag wala naman siguro. As I said, congratulations, ma'am, once again. Ma'am Leah.
Salamat, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Nilo. The last to give her feedback or comments, we have our training manager, Ma'am Marilo Arbasto.
Okay, hello. I think Sir Giselo have said a lot regarding my comments. And I just want to emphasize that I really like the pacing of Ma'am Millendez. Not too slow, not too fast. Very paragyod. Okay ragyod sa mga participants. So, it is very important that especially in this type of training webinar na dili as again pacing is very important kay give time for our participants to really digest and reflect unsa ba tong mga concepts na share sa mga sa speaker. So I think as I've said Sir Giselo has said a lot and all the things that the speaker should take note are given by Sir Ginilo. And Ma'am Leia, again, thank you so much for that presentation. I really like the way you present that. And for me, okay ra gyud kaayo na for the new for the new teachers kanang in the field since in this webinar there are elementary and secondary, so for others also nga nang murag nadugay bago pa nagtudlo at least they will learn from you nga kanang gi-emphasize gyud nimo ang so again I really love your pacing. So thank you, I think that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lot, our training manager for CD1 Junior High School. Before we end this part, Ma'am Leia, again, thank you very much and congratulations. That was
Thank you,
nicely
sir.
done for me.
Thank you, sir.
Nindot ug atong saingan na atong ma-apply sa ubang mga speakers atong ma-apply bitaw kanang background ni Ma'am Leia nga there's a very professional background and the way Ma'am Leia bring herself on camera for me is very, very professional, very, very confident, spontaneous. Really, for me, murag expert to si ma'am sa iyang gipang istorya. But what Sir Giselo had mentioned a while ago, for me, nindot po kayo itong gipang mention ni Sir Giselo. Overall, Ma'am Leia is, for me, very ready for the actual seminar. Andam kayo si ma'am for the seminar. Unya, Ma'am Lot, usa may atong final decision ani ma'am. So the other presenters will have 20 minutes na.
Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes. Okay raman siguro na.
20 to 30 minutes, and the thing that we need to settle right now is as to when. Kay if karon bitaw ta mo continue this PM, maglisod ko in my end kay nag-uwan sa amua, dili maputol. Unya, maybe kuan pod mura pod sa og nay exhausting on our part bitaw, kay mag-whole day na magudta. Mas maayo og mag-set tag schedule for the others. Siguro Ma'am Lot.
Unyang haon sa man.
Dili karong hapon siguro Ma'am Lot, kay murag kapoy bitaw kayo ning mag-hold magkuan ta taas maguni atua. Ayo, di ba we agreed nga 30 minutes ta. The other groups wala na magud sila. No, just like sa session 5.
Ang other group, di ba,
Sa session
ang
5 wala na sila. Diyon sa man
ang
to.
concern ni Sir Pabs at niya gibitaw nga each speaker must present also. Kada bitang mo. So okay raman siguro sir at ma-practice.
Yes, why problema ana ma'am, pero ang atong schedule ma'am mas mayo siguro mag-set tag laing schedule. Dili ta karon mosumpay ma'am bakit murag exhausting.
I don't
Okay
know
ka ba?
with the kuan pa kay og ipad kung kuan na to sir kanang we might have other kanang concerns, other schedules nga makuan. So
Should we
set
maximize
this
the time now,
Yes,
ma'am?
yes,
sige.
exactly. So we will maximize the time kay if we will do it some other time. So mura na pug naa na po yung mga conflict. So
sige.
Kanang other group na lang ta. So maybe we will be setting another time for our dry run sa katong sa grupo naman gyud nato. So dili na lang nato pa ikuan. So we will maximize the day for this. Kay arong mahuman na. So it's up for the speakers to have their practice if mga sa ila na.
Sige, we still have 1
Hello,
hour
sir.
left. Yes, kinsa ni palihog?
Hello, sir.
Ma'am Rizel. Yes, Ma'am Rizel, please go ahead, ma'am.
Sir, would it be okay? I would suggest there will be another demonstrator, full good, with all the mock interventions and everything. Mo suggest ko bisag isa lang ta for this afternoon. Probably we will have to eat lunch and then another bisag isa lang full good bitaw kay kami hindi naminaw kay nag no taking man good pod me kay it can be bake good bitaw sir nga 30 minutes sa pinaspasay wala gid tay kanang actual og nindot kayo nga output. It's murag dili kayo siya maayo nga tanan everybody, but it would be better nga we will learn from another demonstrator probably. And I would suggest si Sir Kahis nga siya ang mo demonstrate.
Wow.
Grabe ka.
Bakit?
Yes,
Pagpili
sir.
lang pagpili mong duha ma'am,
Demotion.
ikaw Ma'am Rizel or si Sir Kahis.
Yes.
Magsabot mong duha.
Okay, dili gid ready akong laptop sir, as in grabe si Sir gihimo gitanan ni Sir Sem everything and all. O kay para pod ka nang naagi tay makuha mag-feedbacking and probably that could be enough or I don't know, or we will set another kuan nga wala na kanang kuan sa atong mga oras, but for me lang yun just like with Ma'am Leia nga nakuha gyud nato ang unsa nga na niya another po demonstrator bisag probably we can have another 1 hour later for Sir Kahis siguro and learn from kuan.
I agree with you.
That's for me.
I agree with
I
you.
agree also. I agree.
Sir Kahis, is that okay with you, sir? Sir Kahis?
I think that would be okay, sir. But then, again, I hope that we could also try out with that chatting, the chat box, so that I could also be able to explore on my device. Yes, and the responses, so that also we can properly time things on when we started and when we will be ending, so that we can budget.
How about, sir? Excuse me.
Yes.
How about if kanang we will give time for the give you time to respond to the questions. Pero dili lang
Yes.
i-interrupt. Dili lang
Ah.
i-interrupt. Unsa man na ka nang
Ah, o sige. Oh,
kay lisod man pud og mo. Gawa siguro og kanang
murag taas na siya ma'am ana siguro.
kay og mo
Bitaw, sige ma'am, di na lang kay
ana
mataas
na lang
unjag adso.
ana na lang ta mura bitaw na
Yes.
mga kuan ana na ta after sa sessions na kuan gyud
Ang
niya.
Q&A.
Ana na ta
Yes,
mo
ma'am.
respond. Oh, quick Q&A.
Nga na lang o sige
Nga na
sa
kay arong
ending.
flow
Yes, ma'am.
ang smooth ang flow sa atong kuan ba. Nga na
But
na lang.
But then in the actual ma'am, mo entertain jud ta og chat ma'am no katong mga
katong
parts
mga
na
activities,
katong parts
mga
na murag mga
activities.
utana ta nila.
May chat box. Yes.
Katong night chat box.
Yes,
Mm,
ma'am.
yes, naa.
So okay ra. Is it okay for you to you Sir Gisilo?
Ay, sige ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Ikaw
Anyway, mag-present man pud ta tanan jud.
tanan mag-present ta tanan. Kay mao na gusto ni Sir Pabs nga
Yes, ma'am.
tagsag yun. The other group, the group of the other, from CD3 katong sa elementary, tagsag yun sila. Na si Sir Pabs will be giving his feedback. So okay ba? Okay ra ba? Okay, anyway, aron ma-practice ta.
Sir? Nami dry run, ma'am.
Sir Gisilo.
Dili sa
Hi, sir.
cleaners.
Yes, ma'am.
Kanang ang kaning katong akong slide may atong maagihan.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Katong atong gamiton. Pero na ko itangtangon na to sir kaya nato nasayop kung nakahinog mo gayon na nagbalik-balik. Nasayop to
Sige,
siya sir
ma'am.
pag copy to nako.
Oh,
Kay
ma'am,
aron makahibaw na sad ta sa final na gyud.
pwede sendan ko nimo ron ma. Aron nga
Sure.
maka. Yes, ma'am. Thank you kaayo, Ma'am Lea.
Okay.
Bitaw
Sige,
kay
magkata,
mag-practice pa pod mi
Ano na
ma'am.
mo official nga kuan, Ma'am Leha?
Ha?
Official presentation.
Oo.
Thank you.
Ya kining sa likod kung mangutana mo kahibaw na mo unsaon ni kapag background
I-upload na siya, ma'am.
kadto ra mo sa PowerPoint presentation bitaw nato na ara man nino PowerPoint presentation ni siya nya i-right click ra nimo or save as export ra nimo as picture as image nya mo na ma-image na siya kana nga slide mo na siya gamiton nimo as background sa imong Zoom iset daan ang Zoom ma'am.
Pero
Ma'am
murag
Lee.
nabali lagi sa Ma'am Le.
Ma'am Lee,
Balik ko
Di ang background ba murag
ang
bali.
imong background.
so bali akong baka sa basin ka isa akong end kay sakto ra
Ano ka nagatubang man ka?
so ako ni siyang asa sakto may kay inyo kung giingnan ma'am pero
Ma'am
maset
Lee,
na
ang
ko
kanang imong logo siguro sa Region 7 mas mayo siguro og Bohol na kay kuan naman division wide.
oo bitaw yes ma'am so
Ma'am
nabalik
Lee.
ko ma'am nabalik
Ma'am Le,
ko sa ako siyang balik
natin tanan ba?
ha
Aw. Ikaw gamo para namong tanan, Ma'am Le.
pwede ra niya i-send nako as image aron ritso na mo background
Send nila miss picture, ma'am.
yes so nabalik
Okay.
siya sa inyong
Are
end
we? Sige, are we done? We still have 40 minutes remaining. Maybe we can utilize that time before we have our lunch. Asa man ni Ma'am Lot, mo call tawag someone?
Unsa man. Kanang our time is 11:14.
Mm.
So I think Sir Gisilo is not
Prepare
yet
or-
ready.
1
Mag-prepare
PM
pa
na ta
siya.
ma-resume.
1
1
PM
PM
na
na.
lang ta. Kay
Sige.
murag kapoy pud sige lingkod asa ba or one so not healthy. So kanang 1 o'clock. Is it okay? 1 o'clock?
Yes,
1:30.
ma'am.
Okay, to give time for Sir Gisilo to prepare
Sige.
his presentation. So
Yes,
next to
ma'am.
Sir Gisilo, saman. So si Sir Gisilo lang or tanan ba? Na-carried na ba to na tanan mo present?
Si Sir Gisilo ra man kay full blown ma'am.
Okay. Sige.
Linaw sa
Bali,
ma'am. Mo kan sa mi kay lami daghang makuha ba. Para
Nagkat-on pa jud mi
ma-picture.
ma'am, nagkat-on pa jud mi ma'am kay like ako ma'am district ICT ko ma'am ang bisihan na mog validation mo nang nagkat-on pa jud mi, nagkat-on pa ko di kay mi.
Okay, sige.
Thank you
Sige.
ma'am.
So we will have Sir Gisilo this afternoon at 1 1 o'clock, 1:30, ano ba? Okay ba, sir?
1 o'clock lang, ma'am.
1
1
o'clock.
o'clock, 1
Okay.
o'clock, ma'am.
1 o'clock ta kay aguban, di ba? Di ba as mentioned 30 minutes ang uban. Tas taas na nga time. Tas taas na kay napabayay mga if Sir Gislo will have his presentation for 2 hours, napay upat nga mo present og 30 minutes gani 2 hours na pud na. So tas taas tag oras karong palis ani. May tabo kay
Okay, sagdi
nausab
lang.
na nga atong plan.
Sagdi lang kay according to Sir Pabs nakapaminaw mapug ko sa comment niya dere sa kuan. So we will have really the time for the dry run aron siya ma-practice ta karon nga adlaw. So anyway, ang kuan na to purpose jud kay arong makasuway kita. So okay ra siguro, sir. 1 o'clock.
No problem, ma'am.
So ato na pug ikuan si sir kay basin og maka-solve pud siya sa atong paghatagan naman po na akong link mo bitaw to insod. Okay. Sige. Ma'am. Kinsa ron? Ma'am. Ma'am Socorro? Oh. Sir Ronelo.
So, mustap na ta Ma'am Lot?
Sige. So, okay ba sa tanan?
Sir Kahes, are you still online, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Before we close this morning session, sir, please lead the closing prayer, sir.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God as we all say in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for this wonderful activity that we have, that we are able to prepare for something that is for your greater honor and glory. May we be able to continue this afternoon in the best of health, in the best of mind, so that we will be able to cater to our target participants and later on to the students whom you have entrusted for us to take care. All of these we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am Lot, ako lang i-share ang link, ma'am, 50 minutes before 1 p.m., 12:50, ma'am. Para makastart ta og 1 p.m. jud, ma'am.